For his entire adult life, Wolfgang Mozart was very poor. Once a friend came to visit him and found Wolfgang and his young wife waltzing around their apartment. They were not dancing for joy. They were dancing to try and keep warm, because they could not afford to floor. Wolfgang's wife Constance was often ill. They also had little children to take care of. Everyone agreed that his music was wonderful, but writing, selling, and playing music did not bring in much money. The requiem. One day, when Mozart was 36, a tall stranger dressed in gray pounded on his door. Without saying a word, he handed Mozart an envelope. Inside was some money and an order for Mozart to write a requiem. Nothing in the envelope said whom it was for. It is for myself, Mozart said to Constance. I felt it in my heart. She laughed. He was only 36, and it was silly for him to talk of dying. The truth was that the requiem had been ordered by a count. He wanted to play the music at his wife's funeral, but he wanted to say that he had written it himself, but Mozart didn't know this. Wolfgang began writing. He wrote feverishly, staying up all night, sometimes even forgetting into it. The work exhausted him, and he began to grow weak. Mozart had been making a little money by teaching music students, but now he was so wrapped up in the requiem that he cancelled all of his classes. Without money, the family couldn't afford much food. They couldn't afford candles to light their cold house at night, but still Mozart wrote, growing weaker and weaker. Finally, just before finishing the requiem, Mozart died. It truly had been his own requiem. The greatest musician who ever lived. Mozart is still considered the greatest musician who ever lived. But when he died, his family was so poor, so they could not purchase a gravestone. Eventually, no one could remember where he had been buried. Today there is a great monument to Mozart in Vienna, and on it is an inscription reading, "The probable site of his grave." Mozart's music is still played today. He wrote such famous operas as The Marriage of Figaro and The Magic Flute, and the piano piece Ein klein Nachmittag. You may not have heard of these pieces of music, but if you heard them being played, you might recognize that Mozart's music is used everywhere. You can hear it in a concert or you can hear it in cartoons. He wrote many of his most famous pieces when he was only a little older than you are, and he died while he was still young. Imagine the wealth of music we might have if he had only lived. 2011 May 23rd. Today I had a race contest check-in in school, but it was raining, so we did it in rain. So many of students complained, but the teachers didn't care. So we did outside the checking, and inside we waited a very long time for others. And our class finished the checking the latest in the one grade. We don't know the reason. We have to finish the third of the time, but the teacher didn't do that. So we finished the school very late. So we complained again. And I went to hospital. It was late. It was 6. And so I was tired, so I didn't go to academy.